Welcome to McDonald's Coaches Bench, Week 2 here on Mix 104.1. And also, you can get the video, audio of this on my Mix 104.1 app under mixtv.tv. And thanks to Dale Halfacre, everybody at CHS Live, where we do this program midweek every week. And happy to have Coach Brown with us for Week 2. Coach, a tough game last Friday night. Scoreboard speaks for itself. Roman Yulo, we saw why he was an All-Stater last year for Walker Valley, and he put on quite a show.
Yeah, very talented ball player. Wish him well the rest of the season.
And situation, a young group of Blue Raiders, as you have talked about on and off the air before the season started. One thing that I really thought was great was the crowd. Walker Valley's side was about full. Cleveland's side was about full. Pretty weather. And just a great crowd, enthusiastic crowd.
Yes, and as we've talked about before, it's a special thing in this county when the football season kicks off, and it was great to see that on display Friday. Yep. Thursday.
Yeah, it was a Thursday game. Anyway, an extra day this week because of the Thursday game to think about tonight's opponent being McMinn County. We'll talk about them a little bit later in the program. Last week, did Walker Valley do anything that you really didn't expect from them?
No, they were pretty much on schedule with what we thought they would be. I mean, they had some players make some great plays in critical moments, and there are a few third downs that we wish we could have had back defensively, and opportunities on fourth down to get a stop on punt, and just things that you have to learn as you go, and the only way to learn is to be in those situations. So just hope that we continue to take steps forward and be the type of program that grows every week.
Yeah. I was listening to The Drive, which is on one of our sister stations, ESPN Cleveland 101.3, Monday afternoon, a program with Andy Morris and Jacob Mason and Jim Gum. And so they interview you on Monday afternoons. And so one of them asks you the age-old question, football cliche, a team grows most from first week to second week, and I believe you gave an answer of you felt that was a true football axiom. So tell us what you expect for Cleveland from last week to this week as far as improvement.
Well, first of all, just much improved on our overall operation. Just a roster full of kids who had never been in a varsity football game before. So just transitioning between special teams and offense and defense, being able to sub in and off the field, again, being aware of critical situations, third downs, short yardage marks, the actual special team that's at here. I just expect us to be way more aware and way more prepared for those moments.
Mm-hmm. You brought up something just then I hadn't thought of before starting this program. I don't remember a delay of game penalty against Cleveland the whole game. To me, that speaks well because I've seen some new coaches, new teams in the past, and that first week sometimes you'll get a couple of delay of game penalties just because a certain player didn't get in or didn't get lined up right, whatever. So to my short memory, I don't remember any of those last week.
Well, those were some really well-called timeouts, I would say, that prevented those. But no, I mean, for the most part, I thought, we came out and we attempted to execute our game plans in all three phases. And, as much as I know that we have the room to grow and need to grow, there were things that we were pretty positive about for a team in the state that we're in.
Yeah. The situation, I thought Kaysen had a good game at quarterback, sometimes under a lot of pressure, and of course he's a good runner and he can throw very well on the run, and overall he was like 10 of 17 or somewhere in that neighborhood. And so overall, I thought he did well.
Yeah, I thought he did tremendously well considering the fire that he was under for most of the night. And,
Right.
We just have to continue to learn to take the checkdowns, take what they're giving you. And we don't always have to hit the home run ball at all moments. So,
Yeah.
But that's just a part of our maturation process offensively.
We'll take our first break here on McDonald's Coaches Bench with Coach Chris Brown. Week 2 coming up tonight as the Blue Raiders travel up to McMinn County, and we'll be back in just a moment.
To the people who reach into a carton of warm, crispy, golden, perfectly salted McDonald's world-famous fries and return with just one. Who are you, and how do you do that? Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Segment 2 of Coach's Bench, brought to you each week by Mark Smith and everybody at the Southeast Tennessee area McDonald's restaurants. We appreciate Mark Smith. This is not a new sponsorship by any stretch of the imagination. McDonald's has sponsored Coach's Bench here on Mix 104.1 for years and years, and we appreciate he and everyone at McDonald's for allowing us to do this program each and every week. And speaking of allowing us to do this program, this is recorded middle of the week at CHS Live Studios here at Cleveland High School. Dale Halfacre and his group are tremendous to us. Everything is always set up, works perfectly. Coach and I just have to sit down, look at the camera, look at each other, and everything is set up so well. And we appreciate everything that Dale and his group do. They do other programs at CHS, and so catch whatever that they're putting out there for you because they do a professional job. Coach, to me, this is just as good as any other TV studio that you and I could go to and do this broadcast because they've got tons of new equipment, and everybody seems so professional.
It's one thing to have the equipment. It's fascinating to watch all these high school students come out and execute and perform all their cues and spots and coordinate the technology and the cameras and the microphones. And I'm just in awe of what they're able to do. I really enjoy watching them work.
I'm in awe that they let me come back each week. That's nice, You never know, zip. And, you're not there anymore. But anyway, seriously, thanks to Dale and his crew each and every week. And thanks to Coach Brown. Now, maybe somebody that is not totally into football doesn't realize the responsibilities 24/7 that a head football coach has. Coach Brown, a couple of things that you have to do or that you do because you want to, that maybe a casual fan wouldn't think about as far as being the head football coach?
Well, first and foremost, you understand what the mantle is, what the seat of the head football coach is here at Cleveland High School, and pressure is a privilege. And I'm going to steal this line from our principal, Mr. Pritchard. I get to do this. It's a privilege to do this. So, yes, there are a lot of tasks away from just football operations that are on the football field that you have to make sure that you're getting done. But, in the end, it's a blessing to be able to do all of it. So there's, of course, running your touchdown club and, overseeing the youth leagues and making sure you're staying strongly connected to your middle school programs and all that in between. Facility management, grade, academic reports, you name it. We're constantly having to it's a 24-hour job. So
Yes, it is. And you being a family man, that means that you cherish the time you get to spend with family.
Have to. That's what fills my cup. My girls, my wife, and my daughter, and it's they invest in this as well. But if a home's not being nurtured and fostered, then nothing else can run in its order. So, and thanks to my wife, it does.
Football wives are special people, and sometimes they have to give up seeing you, for long periods during the day. So football wives are special. Broadcasters' wives are special too. Let's go back to football. one of my favorite questions, and I know some football coaches like to talk about individuals, some don't care for it that much. But as you look back, let's say starting offensive line, was there somebody that graded out well that, and of course, I'm trying to keep up with the football, so sometimes I'm not seeing who is blocking well, who's doing their job in the offensive line. Anyone that graded out quite well in the offensive line for you?
I think one standout performance was our center, Cole Hitson. I mean, he's just a sophomore. Clearly, he's not as developed as you'd like just by his age, but to go out there and to perform for his first varsity game and to be able to have consistent snaps and
Right.
consistent with his assignments and his line calls is pretty special. You don't see that with too many sophomores, period, let alone at a position as important as center.
No horrible snaps come to mind from last week. So for a sophomore, and Walker Valley had a good D line, so you're right about Cole Hitson doing so well. Let's flip it over to defense. Somebody that carried out their responsibility, or a couple of people that carried out responsibilities quite well.
Now, I think up front we were able to get some penetration and get some pressure. I was really proud of Noah Nicholas and Dax Evans and Gage McDowell. They played a lot of snaps between the three of them,
Right.
A whole lot of snaps. And but we were able to at least get the pressure on the quarterback. And Braden Mejia was actually our defensive player of the game with, being constantly challenged vertically by a very good stable of receivers for Walker Valley and being able to answer the call, especially given as much as he does offensively and on special teams.
I pointed out during the broadcast, he came out of the game 3 times that I remember, kind of limping, favoring his leg. And first of all, he had an assignment a lot of times of covering Roman Yulo, who is a great receiver and also so much taller and bigger physically than Miha. And then but every time that I would say, okay, he's out of the game, next time I look up, he's back out there, either offense or defense. And, for me, he played such a gutsy game that when he come off the field, and I'm thinking the kid's done for the evening, a few minutes later, he's out there giving it his all again.
He's a gritty young man, tough young man. For us, for not just him, but we had a lot of cramping issues. And, there's always steps that you can take to help better prepare your body, and we've been addressing that with our guys. But really, it's this is going to be a theme here, but it was one of the first times that he has ever been asked to do so much on a Friday night, let alone in August. And when you empty the tank and you play that hard every snap and you play that many snaps, it's just inevitable. So, but it does speak to his grit and his toughness, his ability to just, push through, get the cramps settled, and then know that I've got to go back out there. I've got to go back to war with my teammates.
Yeah. We'll take our final break here on McDonald's Coaches Bench for Week 2. Cleveland travels up to McMinn County. We'll talk about the Cherokees after this break. can hold the Cherokees scoreless for a first half. You can go to the locker room up 10-0, as Bradley did last week, and McMinn really hasn't been very positive on offense. But you got to come out and stop them in the second half, and they kind of exploded on Bradley last week and come away with a win over the Bears down at Bear Stadium.
Oh no, very impressive win for Coach Cagle and McMinn County. But that's who they are. They're a relentlessly physical team, and I think I'm not trying to speak for their program, but they want to wear you down. They take great pride in the body blows early in the game and to physically beating you up into submission. That's who they are, and that's what I think they were able to do last week.
Once again, going back to Monday afternoon, your interview on the drive on ESPN Cleveland with Andy and Jacob and Jim. You had a great quote. I don't know if I can repeat it word for word, but McMinn goes out to a brawl looking for a football game or something along those lines.
Yes.
How exactly did you put it?
I think you about nailed it. I'll take that version of it better than anyone I could put together. But no, they're just that's in their DNA. They look to physically impose themselves in any setting. It could be a badminton match, and they're out there trying to physically dominate the opponent. It just so happens that this matchup is going to be a football game. So it's who they are. It's the way they train. It's embedded. It's fueled from their head coach, and we're going to have to really match that physicality challenge on Friday.
Your thoughts on, first of all, their offense. Their quarterback, Lawson, made a couple of pretty throws in the second half and got some talented receivers and played the part that I saw of the game, played very well.
Yes, they've got a good group of skill guys. They're very creative with how they manufacture touches for those guys. They are. It's nice to watch them the way they attack what they think a defense is doing and their answers for it. So they're well coached. But really, it starts with them up front. They're a senior laden offensive line with tremendous size, tremendous strength, and that's the backbone of their offense. So everything that they do predicates off of being able to establish the line of scrimmage in the run game.
I believe his name is Chris. Last name is Goforth, going to, I think, West Virginia next year.
Camden Goforth, committed to West Virginia.
Yeah. How do you counter his physicality? Goes about 330, all-state blocker. How do you try to get around that?
You better to get around and try to go through it. That's what he wants you to do. Again, you have to match the physicality, and we have to be multiple on defense. If you can make offensive linemen think and you can make offensive coordinators guess, you got a chance. You got a chance to get off the ball, and if you got a chance to get a step on him, then you might be able to take away his strength, or really all five of their offensive linemen's strength,
yes.
And that's the ability to latch on and drive, and that's what we're going to have to do is try to create some confusion.
All right. Their running back goes by the nickname Peanut, kind of smaller but fast as lightning.
Yeah, and a powerful runner. And again, the first blow is not typically going to bring him down, and he tends to run stronger as the game goes, as we all saw last week or we saw on film. So he's one we're going to have to gang tackle, rally to, drive through the hips and get him to the grass, and we're going to have to do it all night.
Then on defense, they have so many returners, especially offense, but also some good cover guys on defense.
They do. They play a lot of guys. It's a very senior laden team. So they're I wouldn't say they're full platoon, but they have a lot of guys that specialize. But their defensive line's pretty ferocious. They're big, physical, athletic. And they get after the ball to a point where you really have to respect it.
Okay, Coach, the practice this week, grade A, grade B minus. Do you want to put a grade on it, or just general terms for you?
We're getting better at practicing, so I don't know if I want to mark it with a grade. I'll just say they're continuing to learn the expectation for what we need to get accomplished in all our periods. And there's more now that they've seen, the amount of reps, both good and bad. There's more, I'd say, intensity and more commitment to showcasing your skills through the week. But it's going to be a consistent project. It's going to be a consistent, not a battle, but a steady climb of meeting and understanding what our expectations are and meeting them. So I think we have done better this week than we did last week, which was better than the week before. And we have to continue on that trend.
Positive, going forward, going upward. Coach, I'm taking a chance here with my last question, and sometimes I kind of like to throw one out there that's not a general football question. Mm-hmm. You're a Vanderbilt guy. You played at Vanderbilt. I'd like a short Vanderbilt story. It could be on the field, off the field, road trip, just something that pops to mind about your time over there.
Well, to clarify, I was a tackling dummy at Vanderbilt for a couple of seasons.
You were on the team, Coach.
I guess playing the role of a scout team fullback for our starting defense, I think I remember we were running what's called an isolation play where my job was to take one step lateral and run straight at our starting middle linebacker. And in my mind, that's exactly what I did. And somehow or another, I ended up seeing blue, but it was okay. In all reality, that's how it started. And then after being knocked unconscious for a good 2-3 minutes, I realized that he, in fact, found me. I did not find him. And piecing it back together through my teammates and coaches, I was like, oh, well, that was not a 30-second transition. And I don't know where my helmet is right now because someone thankfully took it away. It's about sums up my time there and my athletic prowess at that university.
I love stories like that. And, I'll throw off the mark question at you every once in a while. And anyway, I love the spontaneity. And, Coach, that's a good story.
His name was Moses Osimoji, wonderful young man. Great guy. Played in the league, and he caught me pretty good on a Tuesday.
Sometimes you just don't forget those, do you?
No, you don't. No, sure don't.
And you won't forget the ball game tonight. Kickoff not very long from now on Mix 104.1. We do our best, but we can never duplicate you being at the game. So please make it up to Athens. Good football game. Cleveland, McMinn County goes back years and years. Great games over those years. Support the Blue Raiders tonight, 7 o'clock for the kick up at Athens. If you absolutely can't be there, we'll have it on Mix 104.1. For Coach Chris Brown, Terry Evans saying thank you so much. We'll talk to you next week.